Good morning, everybody. It's 8:30. Well, it's a minute to 8:30. I'm always early. You know what it's like. So this is it. We are in day one of lockdown. I'm still going to be here, folks, so don't worry about that. I'm going to be here sharing all of the news so you don't have to go out looking for it. So we'll do all of this together. We'll get through this next lockdown period together. So what I would like you to do is let me know, what are you doing today? Are you locking down? Or is it just business as usual for you? So for those that are just joining me, this is your Property News Live. I'm here every morning at 8:30 just to share all of the latest breaking news. So you don't have to go out there looking for it, but we have a few rules here. So we've been doing this since lockdown 1, and we've got people that still join us today all the way from lockdown 1. So that's phenomenal. But we do have some rules here. And what you have to do is a little bit of networking before we go straight into the latest property news. So you have to say hi. Okay, so say hi, tell me where you're from, and then we can go into the networking element. And we do this every single day. And stick around to the end because I've got some great property updates for you. And if you find these useful as well, please click on that share button. That would be fantastic. All we're doing here is just sharing the news, folks. So it's a great resource for you, a great free resource for you to be able to tap into during lockdown. What better way to keep informed? Good morning, Phyllis. Nice to see you on here this morning. Phyllis from London. Good morning, Atonis. And you are from Farnborough and you've shared it. Thank you. Chowdhury, good morning from Bristol. And Tran, good morning from Northampton. Mihaela, good morning. You are from Bucharest, yeah? And you've shared it. Thank you. Good morning, Dominic from Winchester. And good morning, Tracy from Horncastle. Good morning to Josh from Devon. Where is the furthest away today? I think it's going to be Mihaela. We had someone from Hong Kong on last week. Good morning to Sharon from Northampton. And good morning to Hits from London. And to Facebook user from Bournemouth. Kim Glover, good morning from Teignmouth in Devon. And good morning to, morning Josh, you're saying there. So sorry, you get me confused there. Good morning, Tarun from, is that Swansea? Okay. Good morning to Maralise, and you are from Cambridge, and Beata from Surrey. Okay, folks. So for those of you that are new, if you click on the follow button, then you get notifications of all of the property updates here every day at 8:30. And this is something I put together on lockdown 1. Wanted to be there, I wanted to be supportive for my community and just to make sure that I was a sounding board for people, because sometimes it can be quite lonely for a lot of people. And of course, we don't know sometimes when the legislation changes, it happens so fast, and sometimes the information gets mixed up. So I started to do this during lockdown 1, and it's carried on. So we've been doing the property news feed now for, I don't know, what is it, 8 months, something like that. And it's still as strong as ever. So thank you here, and don't worry, we are going to stay and we're going to continue this for the foreseeable future. Actually, we're going to try and bring it more into a brand, which is what's something that I want to try and create, get it out there to the masses just a little bit more. Julie, good morning from Hemel. Good morning to Facebook user from Cambridge, and to Michael from Devon. Okay, so I have been criticised, folks, about doing the shout outs, but it's just the way that we do it. It's our brand. Some people like it, some people don't, but it just brings everybody in. It's like being in a networking meeting. You wouldn't not say hello if you were in a networking meeting. Well, maybe you would. I don't know. Maybe you just go and sit down. But we like to try and keep this nice and informal. So, is lockdown affecting you? Just say yes or no. Are you locked down now, or are you deeming yourself as being in an essential business, or something that you can't do from home? So let me know, what are your plans during lockdown? So is lockdown affecting you or not? Put it in the comments. So Thursday, in the news this morning, Generation Rent, our friends, they're always our friends, aren't they? Generation Rent. Well, they say that there should be a reinstatement of the eviction ban with immediate effect. I'm not ranting. I'm not going to rant. They say there should be a reinstatement of the eviction ban with immediate effect, and appears to have been stung into the demand by the extension to mortgage holiday arrangements. The Financial Conduct Authority has extended the so-called, I don't want to say so-called, but the so-called mortgage holiday, which is actually only a deferment of mortgage payments. Same thing. For a further 6 months. Now, Baroness Alicia Kennedy of Generation Rent has been citing the measures and says it's the government's responsibility to help private tenants to while struggling homeowners can seek a further mortgage holiday, renters have been offered no further protection during this second lockdown. Eviction cases will continue to be heard in court, putting pressures on renters to move out when it's unsafe to do so. She goes on to say, putting workers back on 80% of wages with benefits insufficient to cover the rent means that once again, thousands face getting into debt. She continues that the government must suspend eviction processes again to give tenants and renters assurance they can stay safely in their homes to stop the rent debt crisis. And the government must also raise local housing allowance to cover average rents and provide funds to clear outstanding debt. In reality, there is an informal ban already, and that's already in effect, although this is not commented on by the campaign group because they know that there's already one there. They've got to have a voice. They've got to just keep venting. Bailiffs have agreed not to enforce evictions in areas of the country with high levels of coronavirus, and that's already in play from today. And the government has already said that enforcement action will also be paused over Christmas, specifically between the 11th of December and the 11th of January, except in the most serious circumstances, such as antisocial behaviour or domestic abuse. Next today, a new report from respected specialist mortgage provider Paragon Bank shows that retiree renters and those in the upper middle age category are the fastest growing tenant groups. The number of English households in the 55 to 64-year-old age category in the private rental sector with an assured tenancy has risen 118% over the past decade, with those aged over 65 growing 93%. This rate of growth is nearly double the rate of the next fastest growing segment, which is 34 to 44-year-olds. Now, Paragon's research also reveals that later life tenants are generally happier in private rented accommodation than other age groups and have lived in the rental sector for longer. Some 68% of over 55s said renting suited their needs or they enjoyed renting, compared with 49% in the under 55 group. A strong majority of 63% said that they were pleased that they don't have to worry about repairs, and at 576,000, those aged over 55 represent 16.2% of privately rented households. And this has steadily grown since the turn of the last decade, when only 11.3% of the sector then was made up of over 55s. Paragon's research showed landlords appear to be responding to this change in demand, with 21% of landlords expecting to let more to older singles in the future and 20% expecting to let to retirees. Now, this was second only to letting to professionals or executive companies. There are a number of factors that may have contributed to the increase in over 55s in the private rental sector over the last 10 years, such as rising divorce amongst older people, poorer pension returns, and men living longer, explains Richard Roundtree, who is the Director of Mortgages at Paragon Bank, with the number of over 55s forecast to rise from 30% of the population to 36% by 2043, and new household formations predicted to be driven by older single-person households. The private rental sector would have an increasingly important role to play in providing a home for older tenants. Which bracket would you say you fitted into that, folks? Julie saying, I agree with LHA rate, but the rest is just waffle. What more would you expect, Julie, from shelter? What more would you expect from all of these left-wing generation rents and etc.? Kim saying, no massive difference in lockdown, still working, especially in the distillery. Tell me more, Kim. Everyone likes a distillery, right? Julie, yep, you're essential. Yep. Likewise, good morning, everybody. Everyone's still saying good morning. Lockdown with some options. Maralise is saying, Tarnis not affecting you. Girl on film, so happy the lives are back on YouTube. I'm only doing this during lockdown. I've got to be careful with YouTube. It's a very different beast, but thank you. Nice to see you here, girl on film, whoever you are. No massive difference from Kim. Josh is saying good morning. Stephen, good morning. Good morning, LinkedIn user. Julie, I agree with that. Actually, I already done that. Josh saying morning. Where are you based? In Dawlish. Okay. What is next on today's feed? Oops, I just lost it. Where are we? My computer's just had a funny. Here we go. So the former leader of the Labour Party, I'm not ranting, the former leader of the Labour Party in Scotland has joined Shelter. And breathe. The campaigning charity that has often locked horns with landlords and letting agents. Kezia Dugdale was leader of the Scottish Party from 2015 to 2017. She was a member of the Scottish Parliament for the Lothian region from 2011 to 2019. Now Dugdale is the director of the John Smith Centre, which is a think tank which includes ex-Labour MP Ed Balls and former Scottish Conservative leader Ruth Davidson amongst its board members. Dugdale will sit on the Shelter Scotland Committee as well as the charity's overall board of trustees. I'm not doing it. I have long admired Shelter's work. Not me. This is not me. I haven't. Not me. This is Dugdale. Okay, speech. I have long admired Shelter's work. Its first-class campaigning skills, combined with its advice and support services, means that it regularly makes serious impact with decision makers, impact crucially informed by the voices of people with real-life experience of housing problems and homelessness. What are your thoughts, folks? Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Tell me what you think. I don't know what to think. Am I allowed to have an opinion on a news feed? Am I allowed to have an opinion? Am I allowed to vent? I have done in the past. Let me know your thoughts on that. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. Andrew's saying, best play. Oh, Andrew, I can't repeat that. I'll put it on the screen there, but I can't repeat that. David's saying live chats. What does that mean, Dave? Oh, right. Sorry. David's saying, love your live chats. How long do you think I will get to... how long do you think it will take to get renters out? I don't think it'll be 2 years, David. It depends on the circumstances. Julie Ford is here. She's just commented. Julie is helping landlords at the moment with eviction issues. Julie's here. Give her a shout out. You two can talk, okay? But I don't think it's going to take 2 years. I mean, it's going to take 6 months for sure. But, I don't think it's going to take 2 years. David says, is it true that renters can stop paying rents? No, they can't stop paying rent. No. If they can afford to pay rent, then they pay rent. There's no rent holiday, David. There is no rent holiday. It's a mortgage holiday that landlords can take, but they've got to pay that back, and it doesn't come without implications. But tenants have got to pay. If they can't pay, then they can have universal credit, and then at least they can pay at least 80%, or they might be furloughed. So therefore, they should still be able to pay. All right. So no, don't think that tenants can't pay, because they can if they can. There is no rent payment holiday. All right. Stephen saying, I salute your resolve. Thank you. Andrew, she needs to go to America. Andrew, stop it. You're being bad. Julie's doing a face palm now. Look. Yeah. Vent. Paz is saying vent. I'm not going to vent. I'm not. Everyone's telling me to rant. Look. I'm not ranting, not today. Julie's saying thank you. Yeah, anyone can message. If you've got any issues, folks, regarding helping tenants or evicting tenants, Julie's here. Julie's here every day. She is now helping lots of landlords with their eviction issues. Okay. Julie used to work for the Citizens Advice Bureau, and she's very well placed to be able to give you advice. Okay, next on today's feed, new guidance spells out how leniency can be exercised on agencies or individuals who inform on anti-competition cartels. Right, let me pause that. Who would have an appetite on informing on a cartel? Just let me take a little swig of coffee before it goes cold. Have a think about that. No, I think it's great the government say, look, we'll give you a little reward if you snitch on this person or that person. We're talking cartels here. Who's going to snitch on a cartel? Are you? Are you going to snitch on a cartel? I'm an ex-cop. That's all I'm going to say. Let me know. Would you snitch on a cartel? The guidance was issued yesterday, and it came from the Competition and Markets Authority. It applies across all business sectors, but a state agency has a track record, apparently, of 3 cartels exposed by the CMA in recent years. The latest was in December 2019, when 4 agencies were found to have broken competition law by agreeing to fix and maintain a minimum level of commission fees to be charged for the sale of residential properties over a period of almost 7 years. The companies were fined a total of 605k. All right, so they're using the word cartel. Perhaps it's not. I mean, I associate cartels with drugs, right? Isn't that what most people associate cartels with? Maybe it's just their terminology. I don't know. David saying the backlog in the courts is going to take a year. Then the tenants can delay and delay. Then if the bailiff eventually comes round, the tenants just say they have COVID. I know. Talk to Julie, David, okay? She's your voice of reason. Julie, you a cartel snitch, are you? I wouldn't have put that on here. Make sure you lock your doors. The latest was in December. They were fined 605,000. As recently as September, the CMA issued a warning to the agency industry about cartels. That warning highlighted the case of 5 Somerset agencies, which in 2017 were fined over 370k and had 4 directors subsequently disqualified. The rival agents all fixed their minimum commission rates at 1.5%, and according to the CMA, the rationale was contained in an email between some of the conspiring firms. Now the CMA has issued guidance explaining its procedures when there are allegations made of anti-competitive activities under the Competitions Act. Would you snitch? What's in it for us? What do we get? What do we get apart from a load of threats? What would we get? I don't know. Folks, I need to ask you a question, right? So there's a few people watching on YouTube this morning. This is the first live I've done on YouTube for a while. Actually, no, it's the second. I did one yesterday. I stopped it on YouTube for a while because the interaction was really low, whereas we normally get 70 to 100 people watching live across the other social platforms, and then, quite a lot more afterwards. So for those watching on YouTube now, would you like me to continue on YouTube? I don't want my YouTube channel just to be full of live feeds, but if it's beneficial for you, or are you happy to watch on Facebook? Can you let me know? Now, the same goes for LinkedIn. I don't get a lot of interaction on LinkedIn either. So most of the lives come from my Facebook profile. So I just want to make sure that I'm going to the right audience and I'm not diluting the news feed too much. But if you're watching on LinkedIn, let me know. Or are you happy to watch on Facebook? Because I know sometimes people flick. And the same with YouTube. And if you're watching this on the replay on YouTube, can you put it in the comments and let me know? I really need to know where to hone in on this, because I am taking a lot more time now providing free content, and I need to make sure it's on the right platform. So could you let me know, please, folks? I would absolutely love you to give me your feedback. Andrew saying cartels in a state agency. Yeah, apparently so. I can see that from a certain point of view. This is why regulation is required. But would you snitch, Andrew? I'm not sure. I mean, no. Got to look after number one first, right? Happened years ago with concrete suppliers. It happens all over, doesn't it? Everyone. I remember, right? Get this. I used to have a burger van. When I was a kid, I've always been entrepreneurial. I'll tell you a story. And we used to have a burger van. And I was with my wife. We met I've been with my wife for 30 years now. And we bought a burger van. And we started to do car boot sales, flipping burgers at the weekends, and just to make a little bit of extra cash. And we then developed into pig roasts. And then we got quite big where we were, and we were doing all of the big sites. And then we started to think about doing ice cream vans. So we started to research this, and we started to talk to people, and hellfire, ice cream is really cutthroat. We decided not to do it because there were people setting fire to other people's ice cream vans. They were doing their tires. It is really hard out there. So I think this kind of happens everywhere. Yeah, it's my burger van story. There you go. Philip saying Facebook, thank you. Stephanie, YouTube, I think they have a better search facility. So if the titles are well formed, it will come up on Google search. The thing is, Stephanie, because this is streamed live, the quality that comes out on YouTube isn't HD. Do you think that makes a difference? I don't know if it does. And I was a bit concerned about that because sometimes it's laggy, sometimes it's great, and there's no consistency. Where when I do a YouTube video specifically for YouTube, I'll record it on a HD camera with bokeh background and it looks a lot better. So I don't know. I appreciate your comments though. David, you're watching it live on YouTube at the moment. Emma, yes for LinkedIn. Andrew, happy on Facebook or LinkedIn here. I know that you do flip between the two. David, yes, please continue on YouTube. Okay, any more comments on that, folks? Ice Cream Wars. So I know YouTube's got a better search facility. I do know that, but I'm just conscious of the quality of the video production. So if you're watching this on YouTube on playback, please comment. And it's nothing to do with the algorithms. I just need your feedback. And I need to know whether to continue to do this during the lockdown period on all of the socials, just in order to make sure that we've got a wider audience. I would love to know your feedback. Valeria, either Facebook or LinkedIn. James, Facebook. Paz, I wouldn't snitch on a Mr. Whippy. Do you, anybody watching, own any ice cream type things or Mr. Whippy type things? It's quite funny. We've got to have a little bit of banter as well today. It's day one of lockdown. Let's keep it nice and light-hearted. Folks, as always, I really appreciate your support and your comments. And I do try and tweak things for my audience. So please do comment. Can keep the comments coming today, whether you want me to continue on. And I think specifically YouTube. And whether the content of the quality is okay and the video, because this is on a webcam. I don't use my HD camera, obviously, to do this because I'm on my computer. So please keep those comments coming. I appreciate your support. Have a good first day of lockdown. Keep smiling. There are always people out there that are worse off than us. If you need any help or if you are isolated and you don't have anyone to talk to, then private message me, and I would encourage you to do that because we are a community here that we're all going to stick together. So don't feel that you should be out there on your own. Don't feel that you can't talk to anybody. And if you start to feel that you are isolated and you start to feel down, then please do reach out to the wider community because we are here. Okay, folks, thank you so much. I'll see you back here tomorrow, and please do try and make sure you have some fun. Take care.